Hey, what's up? Today I have a special edition of Training Tip Tuesday on a Wednesday. Okay, so normally I release a Training Tip Tuesday on a Tuesday. That makes sense. But today I have something a little special. So I'm recovering from a hamstring strain, and I'm not as happy about it as I might seem right now. But the good thing is, not only will I get a chance to learn some different things that maybe I had deficiencies in my body, I'm also going to get an opportunity to share them with you. So real quick, today I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do if you've ever strained or pulled a hamstring. And you can also use these methods if you have tight hamstrings to avoid straining or pulling one. So what this bad boy does is, it's really just a newer form of compression. So adding this elastic band to an area that's chronically tight or is injured will not only compress it and give it more support, but if you do it properly, and that's where this band kind of comes in handy because of the nature of it, you can really get a good suction around that area. And so what I'm doing right now is I've wrapped this really tight, about 50% to 75% of max strength, wrapping it around. And I'm basically gonna hold it there for about 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and I'm cutting off complete circulation, or I'm limiting circulation of blood flow to that area. Now that's gonna do a couple of things. Number one, it's gonna help minimize the swelling, similar to ice. What ice really does is it constricts the blood vessels, which in turn constricts the blood flow to the area and allows, the inflammation to kind of subside slightly. Once I take this band off, I'm gonna get a huge rush of fresh blood and nutrients that go along with it to the area, which is gonna kind of like re-fortify it with the nutrients that it needs to heal faster. So it's a really good, probably I would say underused technique for repairing an injured area. So I'm gonna show you guys how to wrap this band on, and you can use it for multiple things. I'm not only gonna use it for the constricted blood flow, I'm also gonna use it as a form of traditional compression as I'm going through certain mobilities to lightly challenge but yet mobilize my hamstring so that I prevent it from becoming stiff and matted down, which not only is gonna slow or kind of impede my recovery, but it's also gonna hinder my ability to regain full mobility once I do heal from the actual injury itself. And that's really the key when you're talking about any muscular injury, especially something as important as your hamstrings. You have to gain or regain mobility and full, range of motion if you want to make sure that that area is functioning and performing at its best as you move forward, which will help avoid injury in turn, not to mention increased performance. So with all that said, I'm going to show you guys how to wrap the band. I'm going to go through a couple of exercises, some mobilization, some soft tissue work that you can do using this or a good old lacrosse ball. Okay, so you pulled your hamstring, you strained your hamstring, pretty much the same. There are 3 different levels of strains. The third most likely being a complete tear and you want to get your ass to a doctor ASAP. So I'm pretty much dealing with a level 1 strain. I was a little worried at first that it might be a level 2, but after going through some tests and seeing my range of motion and using compression and icing the first day, or the first couple of days, I realized that there was no bruising or anything like that, and with compression I'm able to move pretty normally. It's not until I go to do a sudden movement or challenge my mobility or range of motion that I really notice that hamstring starts to bite me again. So my goal, and anybody else who has similar symptoms, your goal is to challenge that range of motion in a very incremental fashion, right? Which I would say basically means under your pain threshold. So if I have my leg loaded up like this, meaning I got about 80% of my weight on my front foot, I want to make sure that I squeeze the glute on my backside and stay stacked up above ribs above my hips. Just not only to make sure I have support, but to also make sure that I maintain proper alignment which is probably part of the reason why I tore my hamstring in the first place. You get dehydrated, you get fatigued, you get one of these reaching out during a sprint, and then bam, hamstring done. So squeeze the glute, load up the leg, and I'm just gonna hinge it back slowly and carefully until I feel that tension building up. I feel like I might start to encounter some pain, and when just before I get to my limit, you know, it's coming, there it goes, wait, all right, there it is right there. So I feel like it's getting a little tight, and if I was to push a little more, I'd feel like a stretch, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna just kind of camp out for a second, make sure I'm focusing on this. My body's trying to fight it. My hamstring is very weak right now, and this is kind of like a neuromuscular shock to this system, okay? Because I have it in a stretched position, I have it compressed, it's supported, and I'm just kind of forcing it to sit in that discomfort a little bit. So we're gonna sit here about 30, 45 seconds. Okay, now that I've pissed off my hamstring a little bit, now we're gonna make it really mad. So keeping my glute tight, ribs stacked up, keeping this stretch in my hamstring, I'm gonna just slowly increase the contraction of my hamstring little by little until I once again reach that point just under the pain threshold where it feels like it's fully awake. Like, okay, it's on now. When I get to that point just before there, I'm just gonna let go and breathe out, stay in this position, and just let that kind of tension subside. So here we go. I load it up, squeeze the glute, and I come back. I'm coming back. Notice this is a hinge. I'm not bringing my weight all the way backwards. I'm hinging my hip, pulling back, almost as if I was doing a normal hamstring stretch. And where's that tension? I'm tension hunting. That's what I'm doing. So I'm looking for it. Where is it? Oh, here it goes. Okay. Camp out and squeeze. Slowly. I'm building it up. I'm building up that contraction slowly. Ooh. Ooh. It's coming. It's coming very cautiously. Very cautiously, I'm squeezing tight. Oh, there it goes. Now once you reach that point, hold it about 5 to 10 seconds. Be very careful not to have any sudden movements. And let it go. I keep my glute tight on the other side. I just relax this leg and I want to stay in this position. Okay, we're going to try that again. Same position, I'm just going to squeeze slowly. Oh, it's a little tighter. Hold it 5 seconds. Let it go. So you'll probably want to do that for about 2 to 5 minutes. Once again, make sure you don't squeeze too fast, because with your hamstring in that elongated position, which is probably, if you hurt the hamstring running, that's probably where you injured it. And so allowing it to get stretched and then squeezing really fast while your hamstring is injured, or tensing up really abruptly, it might... Let it build slowly, gradually, the contraction, and then once you feel like it's getting a little nasty, hold it 5-10 seconds at that intensity, let go, relax, let that muscle calm down. So what we're doing is, once again, we're working on range of motion. We have it supported with some compression, so we're building a little bit of mobility, and we're also just kind of reminding that hamstring that, like, look, I run things, okay? I'm gonna control this. We're not hiding from you. I'm coming back, and I'm gonna challenge this muscle, and you're gonna shut the hell up, and you're gonna go along with it, okay? So give that a shot. Altogether, I would say about 25-30 minutes of the soft tissue work, a couple of the different mobility exercises that I'm gonna show you. So when I finish that, I'm gonna go hit the bike. I'm gonna ride about 30-45 minutes, get the circulation going, nice good sweat, maybe do a little bit of core work, just very light, making sure that I'm staying in shape and my body is responding to the training, then after that, now that's the time to ice, because I want to make sure that all that activity that I've done with my hamstring doesn't cause more inflammation, okay? So after your mobility work or your bike or your challenge, whatever you're doing to challenge that muscle for recovery, when you finish, ice about 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and then maybe put that compression back on and relax, let the muscle calm down, okay? So I hope that was helpful. I'm gonna document this process as I go along. If anybody out there has tight or injured hamstrings, please follow along and ask any questions. And I hope we all heal together soon. So sorry for the delay, but you gotta give the body time to heal. I hope you enjoyed that segment of Training Tip Tuesday, and I will see you next time. So I'll get well soon, you get well soon, we all get well soon. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day. And remember, please leave me some questions, send me some DMs. I know half of y'all out there got tight hamstrings. I'm not the only one. We in this together. All right, so I'll see you next week. Have a great day.